choose. Now He commands us, He tells us, this is the right way, walk in it. This is the good thing to do it. But He doesn't make you do it with a will. Now if you ask God, God help me, He will help you.
Amen.
He will chastise you. He'll use His means. He has means to deal with us. And He deals with all people to a certain point. He can't, obviously, because our lives are limited, we have to do the will of God within the window of opportunity that God has for us. You can have forever, obviously. That's why He said in Genesis 6:3, my spirit will not always strive with man. My spirit will not always strive with man. Even though God sees the end, He permits people to live for a certain length. I don't know. That's His business. That's God's business, how much a person lives, good, bad. The details. We know what He reveals to us. The secret things belong to God. The revealed things belong to us and to our children. To live the life that God is pleased with. Knowing, brother and beloved, your election of God, that's keep this in your toolbox. If you're working for God, if you want to help souls, help them understand the Bible. Knowing, brother and beloved, your election of God. Put that in your toolbox. You put 1 Peter 1 and 2. Elect according to the foreknowledge of God the Father through sanctification of the Spirit. Sanctification of the Spirit, the work of the Spirit. God, we said God, when God created man, Adam, the first Adam, God formed a form from the dust of the ground, and He breathed into that form, that clay form, the breath of life. That is the life of God. John 1, the Gospel of John, put this in your toolbox. Chapter 1, the Gospel of John, verse 4. In Him was life, and the life was the light of men. In Him was life. There is no life apart from God.
Amen.
There is no physical life, there is no spiritual life. There is no biological life. You remember us bringing this verse from the Psalms. You send your spirit, they are created, and you renew the face of the earth. Yeah. You send your spirit, they are created. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, let there be, and there was. And God said, let there be, and there was. You send your spirit, they are created. and you renew the face of the earth. Put this in your toolbox.
Yes.
In him was life, and the life was the light of men. The life of God gives you understanding how to live right, how to live in wisdom. Praise you, God. Praise you, God. Praise you, God. Jesus said, except ye eat the flesh of the Son of Man, you have no life in you. This is what he's talking about. That's why. Because in him was life. Except you eat the flesh of the Son of Man and drink his blood, then you have no life in you. He that eats my flesh and drinks my blood, he that believes on me, it's the same thing. It's to believe. He uses the word eat and drink. But in the Spirit, it also, it means believing on him. Also means receive in him. Receive in him. If you receive him, you receive life. When Adam and Eve sinned, the Spirit of God left their spirit, their separation. And death, the spirit of death, took over them. Spirit of death. The spirit of death took over. That's why, and all that don't have God in their lives, they are dead in trespasses and sins. So this is important to know this. So when God saw man in death, in sins and trespasses, he sent Jesus. He sent Jesus, and God saw those that receive Jesus receive life. Those that receive Jesus receive life. And those that continue in him, abide in me, Jesus said, abide in me. If they live the life that God gives them to the end, they keep on that faith, they keep on living for God. God saw how many will do that. He calls them the elect. Those are the elect that endure. They start the race, they finish the race. He calls those the elect. You choose. God chose the plan. God authored our faith. He's the author and the finisher of our faith. We choose to believe, whosoever will. The glory goes all to God. We have no merit to claim because we believe. God is working there. The work of God is that you believe. God is working on you to believe. Some people choose to believe, yield to the work of God, and some people don't. Refuse to yield to the work of God. God is working in you both to will and to do. So you have nothing to brag about. The function of the will is what God created to function. You can't claim credit for that. God created the will. To choose to obey God or not to obey God, God leaves it for us. You just keep choosing right. You keep telling God, I want you, God, every day. You're not losing anything by praying to God. You're gaining everything. Amen. Call on God every day. God, I need you. There are a lot of pitfalls in the world, a lot of temptation, and you see people wrecking their lives because they make bad choices. So we have to stay in prayer. Call on God for wisdom. Call on God for understanding. Praise your God. Your life and death is dependent on this. You can't fool with it. Take it lightly. You're going to take the word of God. Count the cost, Jesus said. Count the cost. Don't blame God when we make bad choices. We can't blame God. Oh, God left me alone. No, He didn't leave you alone. You got away from God. You chose to do evil. When God says, do good. He said, thou shalt not kill. He said, thou shalt not steal. He said, thou shalt not covet your neighbor's stuff.
Amen.
Thou shalt not bear false witness. Thou shalt not have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not bow yourself to a graven image. Don't make you a graven image. Don't bow to them. Don't use the name of God in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to sanctify. Honor your father and mother. God tells us how to live. Praise your God. Just ask God, give me to live that life, God. Make me. Help me. Whatever you have to do with me, God. If I have to go through some pain to learn the lesson, God, that's okay.
Amen.
It's going to save my soul in the end. Welcome from God. He knows how to deal with us. He knows how to straighten us out. He created us. He knows everything about us. Spirit, soul, and body. And in between. If there is anything to do.
Amen.
Praise you, God. Not just people are lazy. Lazy. They don't want to read the Bible. They don't want to live for God. They don't want to do holiness. They are caught up with the affairs of this life, triflings of this life, disposable things, temporal, corruptible. When he said that, when Peter said, our inheritance in him is uncorruptible, incorruptible, undefiled, fadeth not away. It doesn't fade. You know colors fade here. You have to keep painting every few years. Painting. Why? It's washing away. It's fading. And you keep washing the clothes and they fade and you have to buy new clothes. But there is nothing like that in heaven. You don't have to pay every 2-3 years. Because colors don't fade in heaven. Clothes don't fade in heaven. Nobody gonna steal nothing. No moth to fly to corrupt clothes. No rust. There is dew. No rust. There is the river of life. No rust. No corrosion. Nothing wears out, breaks up. If you're depending on a plumbing there, forget it. Praise you, God. Praise you, God. Praise you, God. We didn't have to do any of that. That's why we get full-time serving God. Praise you, God.
Yeah.
Full-time service to God. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Glorious gospel. Glorious gospel. Glorious gospel. Shame people didn't know it. And live a life worthy of it. It's a shame. Hey, we're tempted. Wow. Tempted. In the corruptible things of this life. Wow. Glory to God. God forgive us. God forgive us. God forgive us. We just don't take time to look what He has for us. We don't have time. We don't take time. We're too busy with the cheap things of this life. Cheap. Praise the God. Praise the God. Praise the God. Thank you, Lord. We'll add a few tools to the box next week.